Next 9 annual development plan and extend. So my question only, Chair, will be, why was this letters or this information provided to the OAG? Governor, why was it not provided to OAG?
Chair, let me clarify.
Yes.
At the time we were auditing these financial statements, they were not provided. But during the verification for this meeting, they were provided.
That is on Tuesday last week.
Yes.
So can you give us an assurance that what was provided was authentic?
Chair, we don't have that capacity.
Correct. So let's leave it with the institution with the capacity. Honorable members, we have a very few minutes to go. Honorable members, let's go to Chebunyo, Dairy Milk Processing Plant. The details are in the report of the Auditor General. You have spent about 130 million on this. That is the one that comes after the steel footbridge at Ndaraweta. Then you have Chebunyo Dairy Milk Processing Plant. I think anything that looks like this appears to be a project that is positive and enabling. The amounts there is 85 million. Your supplied equipment worth 45 million, delivered on 16 July 2020, 4 years back, but had not been installed. The contractor was not on site. Governor, could you tell us why this is the case? This is a value for money question.
Thank you, Chair. The auxiliary works for the project were completed in the year 2020, financial year 2024-2025, which included the level works. The machines, those supplied, were not installed, since the supplier was not paid for supply of installations and installation of the equipment. This was occasioned by delayed approval of cooperative policy that was supposed to enable support to cooperative societies. However, the policy has since been approved and now awaiting publication as per the attached correspondence from the County Assembly communicating the policy approval. And this is a project that we did with the support of World Vision. They contributed money, we contributed to one account, but in the process, we were advised by the controller of budget that we were supposed to have a very clear policy in our support to cooperatives. So we initiated that process, but it took a while. I mean, it took some time with the assembly, and that is why we could not extend support to this cooperative so that they could pay the outstanding debt to the supplier who refused to install.
So, Governor, this sounds like a good project.
It is, yeah.
It sounds like the kind of things that county government should be doing. But it is an example of how not to do it. You bought equipment when the auxiliary works were not done. You bought equipment before the place where the equipment was to be installed was complete.
There were some small works that were remaining, Chair. And that is what we completed through the support of the department, not directly to the cooperative.
In 2024, 2025,
when the equipment was
already. The equipment was bought in 2020.
Yes, and it landed in 2021, I think.
Was delivered on 16th July 2020.
Yes.
2020. So why I thought there was a process. You know, you can't buy the equipment before the place is ready. Logically, isn't it?
It's true, Chair.
So, as we speak now, the people around Chebunyo Dairy Milk Processing Plant are not getting value from this investment.
Correct, as reflected by this audit report.
So what is your, let's first start with, what's your plan? What's, how do you make sure that this 130 million that's been spent here, there is value for money for it, before we apply our minds to the illegalities around it?
Now that we've been able to complete our policy, and we have a budget, and with this budget, the current budget, we have captured some money, included some money for installation, that is clearance of what is pending to this contractor so that he can do the installation. So we have the money. Because it's only around 5.9 million that we have not paid.
If I was a farmer in this region, when will I be able to bring my milk to this processing plant?
Chair, I want to promise that in the next 3 months, we'll have this equipment installed. Because even our plan was, because we are supplying milk to ECD centers, that this cooperative will be able to package the milk for us and sell to us as county government. That was the plan.
So, sorry, Chair, there's something that is not clear. You are saying that you've not commissioned the project or the plant because you are yet to pay some amount to the contractor.
Right.
Yet, in your response, you're saying that auxiliary works of the project have been completed in the financial year 24-25, which include electrical works. And then you say management has budgeted for UST line to be done in the current financial year. Plans are underway for installation, testing, and commissioning of the plant. So have you installed the project, or you're not using the project because you've not installed it, or is it because you've not paid some amount to them?
I think it should be clear, these are different contractors. The contractor who was constructing the building is different from the one who was supplying the equipment. So those are two different contractors.
Why aren't you using the project? Let's start again. Why aren't you using the...
Because the equipment has not been installed. And the installation was supposed to be done by the supplier. But
So has it been supplied?
yes, the equipment is on site. The installation has not been done. Reason for this is because we still owe some money to the supplier. And the reason why we didn't pay this money was because of the cooperative policy. We made requisition to support this cooperative to the controller of budget, but she refused to approve. Reason was we were supposed to have a policy support of this support going to cooperatives. So, and we have done that. We have done, the approval has been done by the assembly, and we have a budget for the same. And that's why I'm promising that in the next 3 months, this milk processing facility will be operational. That one I want to commit, Chair.
Chair, it's not clear to me again. So maybe I'm a low taker. They're called slow learners. I want to ask this question again. You know, the contract was for 3,520,000, and it was awarded for the supply, installation, training, and commissioning of Chebunyo milk processing plant. Now you are saying who has not been paid?
The supply of the equipment.
And this 43 million was for what?
That was, we still have a part payment that is remaining of 5.9. And the supplier gave a condition, clearance, and then you will install.
But was the facility ready for installation of equipment?
It was, Chair.
What about these things that you're saying, auxiliary works that have been done in 2024?
There was some minor correction that was done in terms of the millimeters of wires that were used. And that is why the department stepped in to correct that from the assessment of the supplier.
Is World Vision still talking to Bomet County Government?
It is, and it is also a concern. So they have also been pushing us to complete because it is an investment and they must see value for that investment that they made.
So this equipment, where are they? They're still lying in cartons or in a container?
Yeah, in the building that has been constructed.
Since 2000?
Yeah, they are.
They've not been tested because it was to be for supply, installation, training, and commissioning. So you have no idea even whether they're going to work?
But that will be now the responsibility of the supplier because they have not been tampered with. They are still in boxes.
So from 2020 up to now, you've not completed payment of part of the 43 million?
We haven't. It's in this financial year that we have the money.
And he's talking of 5.9 million standing between this thing and the milk farmers of Bomet. Even though your officer had said 50 million was small money, it might mean that 5.9 is much smaller. Senator
Chairman, I have physically visited this particular project or facility, and I would like to reserve my comments. I just want to appreciate the fact that Governor is saying the facility is ready for installation of the equipment. It's one of the projects, maybe for purposes of disclosure, Honorable Chair. We are going with the committee on Friday on devolution. I'm happy that we will have a report on the readiness of the facility to have the facility operationalized, because the last time I was there, that's why I said I reserved my comments, it wasn't ready, but I'm happy the governor is saying it's now ready. We definitely will look forward to have the facility run. But then again, I equally is unable to understand the responses that were given by Governor to Senator Maruma on the outstanding payment. But unfortunately, Chair, this is a 2020 project, so it would have been a priority one, because the reason why it was taken to Chepalungu, it's actually in Chepalungu constituency. The reason why I believe it became a priority project there is because this is the only economic activity that can be done by the people within that constituency, because they don't grow tea, but they do milk. And so with the prioritization that the county government would have done, 2020, it's now 5 years down the line, we're still hoping and expecting that in 3 months' time we will install this. But of this one, this is the only one that has been picked. I do not know whether you will permit me to also ask the governor to prioritize, if any other such facilities are in your plan for the county. Because if it were to be operationalized, the number that are existing, it would help the people of Bomet in a very big way. But I want to just leave it at that for now. On that.
Yeah, you said there could be others, and there are others in this report. So there we are dealing with milk, there is sweet potatoes, and there is a fresh produce pack house. Maybe we'll want to deal with them globally, so that we see the level of sensitivity the governor has for the hard-working farmers of Bomet. Senator Chirage.
Maybe, Chair, the OAG, before you came here, were you able to visit this project? And number two, maybe finally, as Senator Sikea said, Governor, now that this project was in 2020, and you are saying the contractor there's an amount that have not been paid, is there a plan? Have you budgeted with the county assembly to ensure you pay so that you can install? Because, Chair, we have a similar, and I know Sigay might know, one that is taking away our money in Cabinet that has consumed 1.2 billion in Nandi, but it's yet to produce even or package half a liter of milk. So the clarification I need, Governor, can you confirm to us? Because, Chair, I think we have agreed that in January this year we might visit some of these counties and see some of these projects on the ground. Have you budgeted for, and maybe if the OAG has cited this project?
And Chair, allow me, as he responds to that, I crafted the question about other existing milk plants, if they are there. The reason I'm asking that, Honorable Chair, is because Governor has told us here that he has been unable to pay the balance because of lack of a policy. If 43 million was paid, which policy was used to pay, and not that could be used to pay 5 million, which is outstanding?
Governor?
Thank you. Maybe starting with the policy that was used. There was one that was running from 2014, which had a number of things, including our, we call enterprise fund. So, but what the control of budget insisted was a clear one, showing how these cooperatives are being supported. And that is why we separated the enterprise fund and also support to cooperative. So we had to split because of that demand from the control of budget. And Chair,
unfortunately, we don't have the benefit of seeing the correspondence with the control of budget. So now it's your word against the control of budget. Actually, members, just allow, if you go to the sweet potato cooperative processing plant, again, it's a World Vision funded project.
And it is operational, Chair.
It looks like a beautiful idea. You know, the sweet potatoes in my county, Kabondo. I would love to do a project like this. But the auditor indicates that the machines donated by World Vision Kenya had not been put to use. Is that the state of affairs?
No, it is operational, Chair. And I think the auditors have confirmed that.
When did it start operating? Because physical verification on 17th September 2024, roughly 1 year ago, because this is a past report, revealed that the machines donated by World Vision had not been put to use. Do you have any evidence that this very good idea is working?
We have even supplied photographs for the same and, in our response, but it's operational, I can confirm.
Auditor, have you paid a visit again?
Chair, my team visited this plant in July and they found it operational.
Okay. Senator Wakil?
Which page is that photograph?
You're okay. So this is, at least this is working. At least some World Vision thing that is working.
Yes.
Fresh Produce Pack House at the Youth Farmers Trading Center. 7.225 million has been paid, but the auditor says the project had been abandoned and the contractor was not on site. A fresh produce pack house at Youth Farmers Trading Center. Again, sounds like a very good idea for the hard-working farmers of Bomet, but you paid 7.2 million, but the project is abandoned. The land on which it was constructed, there was no title deed provided for audit review. Governor, could you give us some good news that this has now been completed?
Yes, your cooperatives.
Just go straight. We have just about 10 or 15 minutes max. Just let us know whether it's complete and whether it's working, because this is a value for money question.
Thank you, Chair. The project is 95% complete. We had an issue with only one contractor who was doing the finishing, and we have since terminated the contractor. We are giving out the remaining works, which will be completed before maybe in the next 3 months.
What is the problem, Governor? This is also a 2020 procurement. Payments were done in 2020. Today is 4th of November 2025. 5 years later. 5 years later, this is Youth Farmers Trading Center. That's why you're having problems with Gen Z. What's the problem here?
Chair, you know, I come from Bomet. Such a statement, this team comprises, as Chair said, intelligent people. I know youth farmers. I have been there. It's abandoned. You can't tell us it will be ready in 3 months. It is not. Give us documents to show you have terminated the contract if you have. Give us documents that you have already availed the documentations on the new contractor on site and the timelines. Chairman, this is just child play we're being taken through here. I have been to youth farmers.
Chairman,
it has no fence. It's an open field. That project is abandoned.
It has the fence and the gate is there. We have a letter from the contractor, MyMac Company Limited, dated 11 August 2025. And in the letter, they are accepting to relinquish the work, be valued, and we give to another contractor. That is the only pending work that we have for.
But that does not point to completion.
Yeah, this amount to share.
We are interested in the youth farmers getting value for money for something that was initiated in 2020.
Yes, once it is completed, Chair, it will. It will.
Chair, when you talk about due to budgetary constraints, on a project of 13.9 million rolling budget, why should you roll a budget for 13.9 million since 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, up to now? We're talking about budgetary constraints for a project worth 13.9 million to mitigate on the challenges of unemployment for youths. Really?
I think this question goes back to the governor. Just take your seat, because the details are neither here nor there. The details are as provided by the Auditor General. What you are giving us are alternative accounts which are not verifiable, because you have seen you've got your own version, the Senator has a different version, and the Auditor General also has a different version. Governor, I would think this would be something. Is this in Bomet Center?
This along, it's along Bomet, Longisa Road.
Next to Mother and opposite Mother and Child Hospital, your way to Bomet.
Okay, yeah, because I use that route.
Chair, I wanted to engage that man for a minute. I don't know what position he holds in the county government.
Okay.
Chief Officer, so if you allow me, because he has given us a document, he has read something on his phone and mentioned the date. In August, you got a letter from somebody saying that they will relinquish the site and you can give it to someone else. So between that time and now, what have you done?
Thank you, Chair. The EGP system was, the procurement system was completed recently, and we are in the process of giving out.
You know, it reminds me of a story. One day, somebody was supposed to pay somebody 5,000, and the banks had gone on strike. But that debt had gone for 3 months. So when he came to me, he told me, all the banks have gone on strike. EGP just came the other day, really. You want to talk about EGP now?
Chair, why I asked that question is because, Chief Officer, these are very diligent people. And the time that we have here is precious time. Don't attempt to play games with this committee. Unless then you want to tell us that you want to go back to the same errors that we have pointed out to you, that you will float the tender, you get people to apply, you verify, you award the tenders, you give sufficient time for people to complain if they have to complain, and within 3 months all that will be done and the work will be completed and the facility will be in use. My friend, we know better. You rather not say anything than say things that reflect so badly on you and your appreciation of the work that you're doing today. You need to apologize to the people of Bomet, because clearly you know where you're standing, you know. If you are going to follow the procedure, this facility will not be available for use in 3 months. You know that for free. Why are you trying to be smart?
So, Governor, I don't know why I get this feeling that your team does not seem to be very passionate about some of these public service issues, because you conceive very good programs. That one of dairy, this one of sweet potato, this one of the fresh produce packhouse, they're excellent ideas. Why are you not seeing them to the logical conclusion? Because that is a measure of a leader. That is a measure of a manager. You take over complicated things, but you give them life. You are not breathing life into good ideas. You've got a lot of good ideas, but they're done badly. messes everything up. Because of time, let's look at another one. Dr. Laboso Memorial Mother and Child Wellness Center. Again, sounds good because counties do not really do child wellness centers. In fact, pediatrics has been ignored in many counties. So in 2022, the contractor was paid 97% of the contract sum, 286 million. Is this complete? Governor.
Chair, the structure is now complete and we have started the equipping.
Is the work done 97%?
It's now complete, Chair, it's complete.
Auditor General?
Chair, it is complete as per BQ, but it is not operational because of lack of equipment.
Lack of?
Equipment.
So the 286 million, was it just for infrastructure? Or it included in equipping?
Generator which has been supplied, kitchen equipment which have been supplied, oxygen generator which has been supplied. So beds, I think, are being delivered this week.
Is that part of the 286 million?
No, beds were not part of that, but the oxygen generator.
It's a separate contract?
Yes. Oxygen generator, the generator itself, and the kitchen equipment were part of this.
Okay, so another good idea. So if women and children cannot get services from it, is it done? You have laid cabro, you have put in a kitchen and all those things. But the essence of a woman, mother and child wellness center is to provide certain services to the residents of Bomet and hopefully even the neighbors, because we don't have such in the neighboring counties. What is your plan to complete this wonderful idea?
It's true, Chair. The reason why we delayed in equipping was because we had been given a promise that the national government will be giving us equipment, but somehow it delayed. And that is why we have budgeted the money, although we have this national equipment support project that we also want probably get the heavy equipment like MRI and CT scan to install in the same facility. We have since made requisition for the same, but beds and some of the laboratory equipment will be purchased by the county government of Bomet. And hopefully, because it is in plan, probably in the next visit of His Excellency the President, it will be one of the projects that will be opened.
Chair, the query has a second limb that the project sits on three parcels of land, two of which have no title deeds. Do they have title deeds now?
We are in the final stages of acquiring title deeds because there were succession issues.
Maybe, Chair, Governor, you have said the equipment is. I saw the President launch something about equipping, like MES. I don't know, they call it management something. These equipments that you will get, will it be part of, is Dr. Laboso Memorial Mother and Child Wellness Center be part that will get those equipments?
Correct, the CT scan and the MRI.
So at least I saw the rollout. Maybe since you sit in COG, as the national government, by the agreement with county governments, have been able to supply the CT scan and other equipment to the hospitals?
Yeah, we have been able to receive one for our referral hospital. We have a CT scan under the same program.
So how many is Bomet receiving CT scans?
One.
One to the referral hospital?
Yes.
And which other you are also receiving?
For the mother and child, a CT scan and an MRI.
So have they delivered or they're in the process of delivery?
They are in the process. In fact, we've been doing follow-up. And even the company visited the structure and they made some adjustment in the room where the equipment will be supplied. I mean,
Chair, sorry for taking long. In the implementation and follow-up of these equipments, unlike medical equipment supply of the last 2015, I think 2020, and I remember and then Governor refused to sign, or he signed later reluctantly. Is it part of the training and updating these equipments? Is it still part of the supplier, or they will train country staff and provide necessary in case of software upgrade?
I think this is a different model because we are paying for service.
Or service for fee?
Yeah, service for.
Okay, let's leave that because we just have a few minutes to, I think we'll now be extremely brief. So we've looked at those projects with the disappointment on some of them. Irregular waterworks we had talked about when we were discussing the problems in your procurement. Irregular legal expenses. Do you have a county attorney?
We have.
Is a county attorney here?
No, he didn't make to be here.
Why wouldn't the county attorney be here when you're discussing irregular legal expenses? And the Auditor General has told us that there were avoidable penalties of 12.4 million, 9.8 million, 4.3 million. Who takes responsibility for what the Auditor General has defined as avoidable expenditure? Avoidable expenditure means that someone did not exercise their professional responsibility. Was there a county attorney during the audit period?
Yeah, he was there.
You have a solicitor?
Yes, I have.
But
during that year, the year under review, we didn't have a solicitor.
So if the county attorney who takes professional responsibility for this place is not here, who is going to deal with it? Do you want to take responsibility as the CEO? Governor?
Not really, Chair. I think everybody should carry his own cross.
Yeah, so why didn't you bring him so that he can carry that cross? So due to limitations of time, these matters remain unresolved, and Auditor General, we need to see them appearing as prior year matters in the subsequent audit, because we cannot, it is easy for us to resolve that the county attorney be surcharged for the avoidable expenditure. Let's have it in the, let's have them as recurring issues so that we can test them and make that resolution. Supply and delivery of heavy road maintenance machinery. Again, a story of impunity and breaking of rules in procurement. You are procuring 244 million worth of equipment, and yet they were not in the annual development plan. The ADP gives birth to the procurement plan, isn't it?
Correct.
So how would you spend 244 million without it being in the ADP and therefore in the procurement plan? Governor, that's a question here. You spent 244 million, actually 241 million on machinery, crawler excavators, motor graders, and drum rollers. But the procurement of the equipment was not in the annual development plan. How then does that become a valid purchase? Does it mean that you wake up today and decide that now I'm going to spend 240 million of taxpayers' money?
Chairman, I think the acquisition of the heavy machinery was in line with the objective of construction of new roads and maintenance of existing roads in an efficient and effective manner as just one of the methods of implementation of the objective as by the CIDP. So the thinking here, Chair, because in our annual development plan, we had actually captured that we are constructing roads. But how was it to be done was not specified. So I want to agree with the committee that it should have been captured. But the thinking then was, because we are constructing roads, either you tender out or we do it using our own machinery, which we have to purchase, because in our CIDP we had indicated, and even in our annual development plans, that we are going to construct roads and maintain roads. But how was it to be done? Either you tender out or use your own equipment.
Governor, I disagree with that rationale. If it was 4 million, 3 million, you could get away with it. But 244 million is material. It's actually almost 5% of your total budget. 244 million.
Actually, Chairman, just to interject, 244 went to the procurement of crawler excavators, motor graders, and drum rollers. And if you look at 10.2, there is still additional heavy equipment for purposes of procurement of tippers and prime mover. That is 61.3. This question came in the previous audit, and I equally recall that the responses was similar to the one that Governor has just said. As to whether or not it was in the ADP, it's admitted it was not there. But then the county government went ahead, acquired them to the tune of over 300 million. It's 244 plus 61. And I can confirm as a resident of Bomet that it's got challenges. It has not achieved the objective that it was desired. To justify even the rationale the governor is saying, we had it in our plan but not specified. It is a subject that EACC is undertaking right now.
Was there professional opinion given on this procurement?
Yes, Chair, there was.
By the head of supply chain?
Yes.
Head of supply chain, it was your professional view that you could wake up outside the ADP and commit 250 million, 244 plus 10?
Thank you, Chair. I want to confirm to this committee that the procurement of this heavy equipment was in the procurement plan and the budget for Bomet County.
That is not the question. We are talking about the ADP. Is in the ADP the commitment that you have with the people that out of our CIDP 5-year,
Yes.
this year, these are the things you are going to focus on. Isn't that what we are talking about?
Yes.
Is it an important document?
It is, yeah.
Does it go through public participation?
Yes, it is.
Does it go through the assembly
Yes.
for approval? How then do you decide, after going through all those processes, to introduce 250 million in your procurement plan, in your budget, without that covenant with the people?
Chair, for the preparation of budget, maybe I can ask the CEO budget to explain. Because what normally comes to procurement is the procurement plan and the approved budget.
So, Governor, this, you see, again, the recommendation was to EACC to investigate, and for the Kenya Institute of Supplies Management to take disciplinary action against the officer who gave a professional opinion on this. That was a recommendation, and EACC, I hope you have this also in your matrix. So we'll leave it to you, but then again, you can see that we are clogging the EACC unnecessarily with things that perhaps could have been explained at audit. So since that was the resolution of the committee, we'll leave it at that, and we'll get an update from EACC. Senator, you have also mentioned that you're aware investigations are ongoing. So you need to do something around your procurement practices. It's either, it is, unless you are the one who has designed it to fail. But from the look of things, it's going to invite a lot of queries and investigations into your organization. Is the governor's residence complete?
I think it's now 98% complete.
Since 2019?
We terminated the contractor who was doing that work because at some point, I think, maybe because of financial challenges, he could not complete.
It takes Bomet 6 years to complete a governor's house.
Sometimes you give contract to somebody probably thinking that he has the capacity or she has the capacity, and somehow along the line, probably...
Isn't that another symptom of failure in your procurement processes? Because it's the element of due diligence.
You know, they present very nice documentations, and when you visit some of the structures that they have completed, they look nice. And even there is a case of one contractor that we gave a preach. He did one excellent work, but when we gave him a second one, it got stalled along the line. So, you know, these things, sometimes you may not be very accurate in terms of looking at what has been done and determining the capacity of an individual.
You are in the same WhatsApp group with Turkana when it comes to building of governors' houses. Members, you know what I'm talking about. It has taken them long and very huge amounts of money. Kisumu has just built a residence for Governor Nyong'o at about 38 million. A very nice, neat residence, just within 1 year. So there's no reason why Bomet should be from 2019 to date, unless the governor enjoys being paid or he enjoys living in lodgings and Airbnb and being paid for it.
Not receiving anything for that, Chair, maybe for record.
Members, we have a member of the speakers panel here, so he will not allow us to go too far. It's just because we started our meeting a little bit late, but we must deal with this theme of your wage bill. Governor, your wage bill is at 50% of your total revenues. Is that the case?
Correct, Chair.
Why is that the case?
Of course, probably I will talk of the measures to reduce, because that is the position. Because there are things that we cannot...
You see, as you talk of the measures to reduce,
yes,
you must also explain why it grew by 600 million in 1 year. Because you can't be telling us you are putting in measures to reduce, and yet your wage bill has grown by 600 million Kenya shillings in one financial year.
Chairman, when we came in, when I talked of coming in as my administration, we had a number of doctors that had not been confirmed to their position, and almost 90% of the health workers were on contract. So we confirmed them to those positions. We are not also confirmed the ECD teachers to their position. We confirmed them to their positions. And there have been a number of facilities that have been coming up in terms of health facilities. So every new facility means you have to employ new people to give services to the residents of Bomet.
So you grew by 5% in 1 year. I've not seen that kind of growth in any other county, who are also employing doctors, who are employing ECD, who are implementing CBAs. Yours was very steep, 600 million.
Probably, Chair, we need to confirm if that is a position with these other counties. Because I will tell you, like in my county, I haven't had any strikes of doctors. That's not an accident. It means their demands have been met, including confirming them to those positions. Even when all the rest of the 46 counties were on strike, mine didn't strike.
Yes, that's a good story.
Chair, you must stop the governor there, because doing a good job must be done within the law. You cannot say that you're doing better than other counties, and for that reason, then you are at liberty to operate outside legal provisions, because the 35% provision in law is not a suggestion. It is true that maybe there isn't a county that has met it, but I think what you should be telling us is whether you, from where you sit, you actually think that it's a realistic thing to do. Do you want to propose changes to the existing law, or what would be the way out? It's a problem to every county. You are already outside by more than 15%.
I agree, Senator Mbua, but what the chair was asking, why? I think because I wanted to give the way forward on how
No, I actually share Senator Mbua's concern. Because yes, you can tell us how your doctors are happy, but development is crying. Development is suffering. There's a passage on that here, inadequate allocation to development. So you are obsessed about avoiding strikes, but the people of Bomet are not getting development because half the money goes to salaries. And I believe another 10% goes to the county assembly. Only 40% of the money that we are fighting for from Nairobi goes to actual implementation of projects. So even if doctors are happy, the rest of the residents of Bomet are not happy. They are not getting their share of development as envisaged in the law. Now, members,
because you are there, what it means is the doctors could be happy, but there are no medicine in the hospitals. That's what it could mean. That you're spending a lot more money on paying wages and salaries to doctors, and you're left with very little to purchase medicine for the people.
Those are some of the challenges that we are facing. But maybe just for the record, Chair, for development, I think this financial year we have 34%, which is above the minimum that has been set. So, which is also an indication that we are not ignoring that part of.
We'll let the auditor report to us on that, because the maths is not adding up. If you're already on 50% on salaries and 10% on assembly, if you're saying 34% is going to development, it means that only 6% is going to operations, which is impractical. So in terms of fiscal responsibility, your county is fiscally irresponsible. And if we had the old formula, we would have punished you by withdrawing some equitable share from Bomet. And I think there's a conversation by members of the Senate that we should reintroduce it to provide an incentive for counties to do the right thing. Could I, because time will not allow us, the residual issues in this long report, we have already agreed with the Auditor General that they'll find their way in the current year audit report. When it comes to the receiver of revenue, Auditor, you will need to advise us whether this receiver of revenue report is professionally rendered and whether it is something that the Senate should consider. Ab initio, let's look at it. Was it prepared by an accountant, the receiver of revenue report? Auditor? Was that report prepared by an accountant? Can you tell whether it was prepared by someone with the right professional qualification and with the right professional responsibility?
Chair, the officer did not write his or her ISPAC number.
So, are you able to tell whether this has been prepared by a professional? If a doctor got an X-ray report that is unattributed, should the doctor go ahead and prescribe on the basis of an X-ray report whose source is not verifiable?
No.
So what do we make of this ROR? Because we must point out these things. Our job is not academic. We have 238 million shillings here, which is a drop of 6 million. Instead of revenue growing, revenue is dropping. And then you bring us a report that is not owned and not signed by someone who bears a professional responsibility. This tells us that this is a looting, on-source revenue could be a looting spree. Why should we, Governor, why should we even waste time discussing this report? You are a professor, aren't you?
Yes, Chair.
There are things professors can do which persons with masters cannot do, isn't it? In the academic world.
Yes.
There are things members of ISPAC and qualified accountants can do which advocates cannot do.
Correct.
In preparation of financial statements, which profession bears that responsibility?
It should have been the accountants.
So tell me, which of these people is a professional with that responsibility and sworn to a code of conduct?
Can give to my CEO Finance to respond to that.
And we don't want stories. Just tell us precisely that this report was prepared by ISPAC member number XYZ. Or it was prepared by the driver to the CEO. Because that's also possible.
Thank you, Chair. The report was prepared by the Director of Revenue. He's an accountant, but I'm yet to check his back number.
Where is that Director of Revenue? Where is the Receiver of Revenue?
I'm not here.
The Receiver of Revenue is not here. And you came to discuss the report of the Receiver of Revenue. Governor, how do you discuss the report of the Receiver of Revenue without the Receiver of Revenue?
He was informed, but I'm not sure why he's not here.
Who's the CEO of Bomet County Government?
The governor.
You didn't carry your attorney, they are legal questions. You didn't carry a Receiver of Revenue, we have financial statements that just indicate serious problems. How do you explain revenue dropping from 244 million to 238 million? Now that you're the CEO, can you explain to us? Because it's an upward trend elsewhere.
Of course, the receiver of revenue should have been here to explain that.
You did bring him, so you take responsibility. How did revenue drop from 244 to 238? Are you collecting and pocketing?
Not really, Chair. Maybe my CC Finance.
What other explanation could there be? I do not see, I go through Bomet every other week, a beautiful county, endowed by nature, very hardworking people. People of Bomet are very hardworking. How then can revenue, on-source revenue, be dropping?
Okay, CC Finance. Yes.
Thank you, Chair. I think I want to, the question you've asked is the drop in revenue. So we were not able to collect as we had anticipated, but we have, that is for the year 2024. But we have
a target for that year.
For that year, it was 332. Yes, then we collected 238.
So 100 million off the mark.
Yes, we couldn't.
And I heard the governor speak earlier, the way he was optimizing on-source revenue to balance spending bills and all that, not knowing that his on-source revenue has dropped. If you take away hospital fees, you're only collecting 100 million. 100 million, a county as rich as Bomet. If you do a comparison with neighboring counties, I don't know, maybe Nandi, maybe Kericho. Kericho could be bigger, could be having a bigger agricultural base. There is no way Homa Bay County, which is one of your neighboring counties, could be on 1.2 billion and Bomet is on 200 million, which is dropping. Who is stealing from the public in Bomet? Governor.
Chairman, we have put measures in place, and that is why I was very confident that we'd be able to collect more. And there are other measures, including valuation role that was not in place, which we have just completed. We were not collecting property rates that it should be. So those are some of the measures, Chairman. So I'm very confident that we'll be able to beat even that.
You know, Governor, I need to get some concern from you. When you came here, you were aware that revenue had dropped?
I was aware, Chair.
You were aware of the reasons behind the revenue drop, leave alone those broad stories you're talking about? Were you aware stream by stream where there was underperformance?
One was the challenge of the automation, which we had issues, which we have since corrected.
What is the challenge of automation?
We were using one revenue system, but they had some of the modules had issues.
Who chose the revenue system for Bomet?
We had advertised it was open tender. Yes.
And so you chose it.
Yes.
And you are involved in building it, customizing it, testing it, deploying it. Who then do you blame for modules not working?
Of course, we have to blame ourselves for that. But
I wish we had time. I wish we had time.
Chair, that's okay. Just two things from me. Governor, on that issue of our systems for collecting revenue, we have been here long enough. And we've had those conversations from your colleagues. So you procure a system, spend X amounts of money, a year or two down the line, you decide it's not working, procure another one. Another 2 years, it's not working, procure another one. It is very telling, and this I must say to the people of Bomet, it's very, very telling that you have come to appear before the Senate with audit queries on receiver of revenue, glaring audit queries, and you deliberately did not tag along the receiver of revenue. Very telling. Very, very telling. It is also very, very telling, Chair, that you came to the Senate, Governor, to respond to issues of illegalities in your administration. And again, miraculously, the county attorney is not with you. Chair, because he found the crosses that belong to the county attorney and the receiver of revenue, and they are not here to carry those crosses, then, Governor, somebody must carry that cross. And it is not this committee, it's not the auditors. You must carry those crosses. It's unfortunate that we are engaging on such important weighty issues, and the officers directly responsible for those actions or inactions are not here. And the officers, and you're telling the people of Bomet, we told them to come, we don't know why they came. They did not come. I thank you, Chair.
We will need to come to a close. We will write our report, and I think the observations made by Senator Wambua will definitely feature in that report. If people have been given responsibilities in the county, they should take it seriously. If someone has a professional responsibility, there are certain professions that are held in very high regard. I'm not saying there's a profession that is lesser, but some professions are regulated. If you are a receiver of revenue, director of revenue, you can't do these things. First of all, auditor, you should have rejected these financial statements. You should have. Should have not gone ahead and in fact, this, you gave them a qualified opinion. You gave them a qualified opinion for financial statements whose signatory you don't know. How do you know the owner of this signature? Look, when were they approved?
Yeah, I'll need to look at the copies which were given before that. But again, we must have taken details of names from the Roman page 5, item 2, key entity information and management, where we have the head of revenue reporting as Langat Zephania.
No, just go back to where the material disclosures are. Statement of receipts and disbursements. Yes. At the bottom, county receiver of revenue. You've got a scribble there, there is no name. Next, head of revenue reporting, a scribble without a name, without an ISPAC number. On which date were they approved? Governor, on which date?
November.
This is your report. On which date were these ROR statements approved?
22nd November 2020.
No. It's the governor's report.
Sorry.
It's indicated as 20, from the stamp, it's 27 November.
Now, up there, the accounting policies and explanatory notes to these revenue statements form an integral part of the revenue statements. These revenue statements were approved on dash 2024. What is there in the dash? What is that there in the dash?
It's not indicated, Chair.
Governor, can you, as a professor, heading account as a government, do you accept this? Would you accept this? Please, let's run county governments with some seriousness. And you must, and it's telling that the ROR is not here. And I believe it is deliberate. He or she is running away. Could we get the name of the receiver of revenue so that we can capture that in our report? What's the name of the receiver of revenue?
Mr. Korir.
Full name. We want the full name.
Thomas Korir.
Thomas Korir. Clerks, can you capture that? Because if the receiver of revenue cannot come to present on the report of the receiver of revenue, that receiver of revenue has no business being in office. If this report has not been properly signed, that receiver of revenue is failing. If revenue is dropping, the receiver of revenue is incompetent. If systems that you chose are not working now, the receiver of revenue is unfit to hold public office. Patrick, there is a section in the Public Audit Act where we have the power to declare someone unfit to hold public office. This is it. We are going to declare, what was the name? Thomas Korir, unfit to hold public office. We have rarely used that provision, but it is there in the Public Audit Act. This is one classical example. Unless, Wakili, you appeal for clemency, but that is a position of the law.
I will be guided by the chair, and of course, as the senator from the county of Bomet, such glaring discrepancies and deliberate, leaving behind responsible personnel tells of either an option to avoid responding and get excuses and buy more time, or the incompetence that is exposed across the entirety of the departments.
So, due to limitations of time, you had indicated that we are voting on a very important instrument for the county governments. We cannot miss that vote because, despite all these challenges, we are still committed to making sure that devolution works. We send money to this raw money to the people of Bomet. If that be the case, do we have any closing remarks? So I'll ask the governor to make his closing remarks, and then we'll donate our time to Senator Wakili on behalf of the Senate. Governor, you may proceed.
Mine is just to appreciate the opportunity that we've been given to appear before this by on some of the issues. And I want to commit, chairs, that all the advice that you've given us, the comments and directives that you've given, we are taking it seriously. And what I am supposed to act upon, particularly in administrative actions and discipline, Chair, I want to commit to you that I will do so. Otherwise, thank you for the way you have handled us, a very respectable committee, and we have learned a lot. It's also a session that we are all learning. Thank you so much, Chair.
Senator Wakili, we'll donate our time to you for closing remarks.
Thank you, Chairman, for that gracious opportunity you've given me. Once again, I want to appreciate this committee for according the county government of Bomet an opportunity to be taken through the reports that we've all seen. And Mr. Chair, I want to appreciate you for being very particular in terms of reaching out to the county government, the team, in areas which the law has been completely flouted procurement, you've seen the reports have been recurring. It is not in this present financial year, not in the previous, it's been long outstanding. It points at a non-commitment of some sort on the part of those who are in office to make sure that they comply. Secondly, Chairman, the last aspect that we've just dealt with, the revenue collection, it doesn't take the governor to ensure that the team that is responsible for every department is present when such very important occasion has been called upon by the Senate. There's no explanation given, and I don't think, Governor, the revenue person expected you to call him to come and do his job. It tells of a complete, fail in terms of the structure of administration, to the extent that the person who is supposed to sign a report is avoiding including his name in the report because he does not want to take responsibility. And unfortunately, you are the CEO of the county. You take responsibility for your incompetent staff, for those who are doing the work that they are not supposed to do and intentionally leaving out their names. If you want to go take action, it's up to you because you are the CEO. You take responsibility. This committee, I believe, Chairman, will also undertake what it is supposed to take. And I want to agree with you that you exercise and invoke the provisions of the law that allows you to declare certain officers unfit to hold office so that it becomes a lesson for those who are holding offices, because these offices we are holding are not for us. They are in trust for the benefit of the public. We're going back right now to go and vote to give additional funds to the county governments. If we are sending that money to be administered by such incompetent officers, you can imagine what pain we are going through as a Senate, because unfortunately we have got to do it for the rest of the counties and for the rest of the Kenyans who are keen on receiving this money. But I hope, as the governor has committed, he will go and crack the whip where it is necessary. And it is not because of personal issues, it's because of these issues that have been raised. We need services. The issue on the 34% that governor said, which goes into recurrent expenditure, definitely it's not adding up. But I hope you will also work out, avoid additional recruitment, which I hear you're planning to do. It doesn't make good of your effort to reduce on a recurrent expenditure and you going ahead to include a plan to have additional recruitments. But otherwise, Chairman, I know we will still be coming here once again. I want to appreciate you for giving me, donating me the time to make those closing remarks. And I look forward to implementation of a number of those proposals which have been made, including the investigations which are going on by the EACC. And lastly, the Office of the Auditor, yes, OAG. I tend to have a feeling that some of these things should not get here. Senator Wambua made reference to the fact that we are not supposed to be doing your job. There are certain things that should be, should be stopped at your level. Kindly ensure that you do your job also, because by doing the right thing, by avoiding certain compromises that allows you to accept documentation which does not add up, it reduces the work that gets into committee, it reduces the burden that goes to EACC. It also helps the governor and his team to correct early enough where there are challenges that have been noted by office. Otherwise, if we don't do it, we will always be blocking our offices and avoid progress in what we are supposed to do. Chairman, thank you, and I donate back the time to you.
Thank you.
Chair, maybe just a correction of name. The receiver of revenue in the financial year under review is not Thomas Korir, but David Punei.
David
Punei.
And who is the accountant who is alleged to have signed the report?
The head of revenue reporting is Langat Safania.
How do you know no name and ISPAC number has been put there? Does that signature tell anything?
Also not Chair without the name.
So who was supposed to have signed it? Who was supposed to have co-signed it? Because we are indicting both of them, declaring both of them unfit to hold public office. And for the accountant, we are referring that accountant to ISPAC. What is the name?
Chairman, it's surprising that the governor does not know the person who is collecting his revenue.
and surprisingly still the CC for finance. You should be able to know your people. I mean, this is embarrassing.
Sorry, Chair. I think we have said for the year under review, that is 2023-24, the receiver of revenue was David Bonet and the accountant Zephania Langat.
Zephania Langat.
Langat, yes.
Clerks, take note of those names. We shall deal with them accordingly.
Did they leave?
Yes.
Or they are still in the county government?
They are still there.
Now, there are a number of issues that we did not deliberate on, and I think if you are to speak to the people of Bomet and those who are following these proceedings, what we did address is not going to disappear. They will appear as prior year issues in the audit report that the OAG is doing. We expect that by 31st of December, the OAG will table their report, and Governor, in the month of January, we shall call you again. So whatever it is that we have not addressed, we'll address them when we are looking at the 2024-2025 audit report. The auditor reports that they have done the exit. So I hope that this time round, we are going to see a better report. We are not going to see the embarrassments that we are seeing here on the ROR, and we are going to see a report that is reflective of the stature and the professionalism of the person who's leading the county government of Bomet. So we will adjourn at this point to allow us to go to the chamber to vote so that county governments can get money to do the right things, not some of the things you have seen here. The meeting is therefore adjourned. We meet again on Thursday.